Hi, this is Mark Williams. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to talk to you just a moment about the new GGS timesheet. First thing I really want to cover is that there's a few significant changes. One of them we've already implemented a few weeks ago. This particular timesheet is designed to accommodate that new workflow process that we launched sometime a few weeks ago. I'm recording this, by the way, in the end of May of 2013, and so it wasn't long ago that we had an old workflow process where the associate would submit a timesheet and only the supervisor would need to approve it, then it would go on the payroll. Sometime in May, we introduced a new workflow process where the associate submits a timesheet, the project manager or project managers all get a hold of it and approve their different parts of it, and then when that's done it goes to the supervisor and on the payroll. Well, this new timesheet is obviously designed around that process. The other thing that's a significant change is it's designed for a transition from open charging, which we've historically done, to controlled charging. So in the old way, you could charge to any project at any time, and in this new way, you can only charge to a project if you've been assigned to it. Assignments are made by the project manager or their designees, and that's almost always the project admin. And sometimes a project manager will additionally control and authorize an associate to charge to certain tasks within a project, and so it's possible that you can be assigned on a project, but you can't charge to certain tasks within that project. I do want to note that this is a change that may take some time to get used to. It's likely that many of you at some point will need to contact a PM to request authorization to make charges to a project. This could slow things down, but it does not change our obligations to meet weekly timesheet deadlines that are critical to our business, like project costing, billing, and getting our paychecks. We're going to roll this out using a phased approach to keep things running smooth. On Monday, June the 17th, a new button called New Timesheet will appear on your regular timesheet in the area that I've got marked in yellow here. Mine says Beta Test Timesheet, but that's what it says at the time of this presentation. Yours will say New Timesheet. For a few weeks, you'll be able to launch the New Timesheet feature from here. This is an either version phase to provide a safe harbor while we're transitioning to the new design and process. When we're satisfied with the transition, the older design will not be accessible. We mean either version in this sense. You'll have the option of entering time into the regular timesheet or the new one. We would like you to use the new timesheet whenever possible and use the old one if there's a problem or constraint, and of course report any of those problems or constraints or issues to GGS IT help. But both versions are live and synchronized, and so whatever changes you make in one version will appear instantly in the other. So let's learn how to use the new timesheet. Of course, everything starts with the customer, and we're going to filter the number of jobs and tasks that we have to look at by selecting the customer first. And from there, we're going to select the specific job that we're charging to from that customer, and from there, the tasks that are on that job or the ones that we can charge to will drop down in the task column. If you don't see the customer you're expecting or the job that you're expecting, then a couple of things may have happened. You're not assigned to that job yet, or there's no open tasks on that job to charge time to. So you may be assigned to the job, but there's, just like in our old system, you can't charge to a task if they've all been marked as completed. So either way, you're going to need to consult with the PM or PA and find out why you can't charge to the place that you want to charge to. From there, it works very much like our old timesheet. We select the subtask. We select the available pay types such as premium time, overtime, regular, and of course these are job and task specific, so the selection is limited by the PM. We enter the hours or the fractions into appropriate date fields, and note there's no need to save in this process. As you tab along into the hours or the date fields, it does not need to be saved. The hours and the prorated hours are much like the old timesheet. They'll tabulate as you move through the fields. And then you use the comment, the service report, and the internal comments fields as is customary or specified by the PM or the supervisor. You use the calendar to select the new week ending dates, and note that you can punch in a midweek date on the calendar, but the week ending in field will still display the date at the end of the week, which we use Sundays for. The time button or the time summary button will slide out and show personal time info, and the metrics button, which is not formatted at the time of this presentation, it still says time summary, but that bottom yellow or orange thing will say metrics. That'll display some time utility information. And wrapping this up, last slide, we're going to select add to insert a line, delete to remove a line, duplicate to copy a line, auto-populate and copy from previous week. Both have the same functionality as previous timesheets. We're going to hit close to exit the timesheet. Once again, no save is required. You can select print, opens up a PDF version of the timesheet for printing. When you're done, select submit. This action sends the timesheet to the project manager or managers for approval. And then once submitted, there's a recall button. It's not shown here because this timesheet's not submitted, that allows the user to recall the timesheet if no approvals have been made yet. Then there's also a select workflow for a visual of the approval status of the involved project manager or project managers and the supervisor. So since there's so many more a potentially larger cast of characters involved, we show a workflow of who's got the ball and who's involved and what each one of them has done so far with the status of this timesheet. And then again, once it's submitted, there's a history to see a time log of the activity, the approvals, rejections, etc. since the timesheet was first submitted. And that's it. I thank you for your attention.